What's up guys, I'm using the iPhone 14 Pro Max and 15 Pro Max. 14 Pro Max, I specifically bought this from Hong Kong, which has dual physical SIM card, only missing the millimeter wave in the United States and also the band 71. I'm using an AT&T and the 15 Pro Max on titanium color. For people who are planning to update, I would really like to give you some information here so that it can help you to make a decision. So first of all, when you see this phone, basically it has rounded corners. It feels a little lighter than the 14 Pro Max, which is more boxy, and then the edges are very sharp. If you have been holding it for a long time, it might you might not be feeling comfortable. Second, about the action button, I don't think this is made it has more purpose. They could have made it better, like single press, double press, triple press, to make it more functional. But the single press, I would rather stick it to single long press, silent or ring mode, because I don't want to fiddle with my settings and then go to set it to a silent or a regular general mode. Here the screen is fine. I'm using a matte screen protector here, so you might find not as clear as a clear screen protector, both a tempered matte, because this helps in like the smoothness on gaming. The biggest difference here will be on your photos, where when you take photos, I'm going to show you the difference here. So let's say here, so this is an ultra wide photo of this is a 15 Pro Max and a 14 Pro Max. If you can see here the clarity, you can read the sign a little better than the 15 Pro Max. You can read the sign better than the 14 Pro Max, but not much difference on the ultra wide. The biggest difference is on the primary sensor. So I'm going to show you now. So this is the primary sensor. You see the way they handle the high dynamic range is different. 14 Pro Max tends to crush the shadows and contrast with a lot of over sharpening going on, as you can see from here. This is the 15 Pro Max. You can see the sign is much more clear and visible. Colors are a little different. Same time, took the photo same time, not much over sharpening. So you can see over sharpening cannot be mistaken for details. This is not details, this is over sharpened, and the photo overall looks more pleasing. So I feel 15 Pro Max 24 megapixel camera is much more superior. Hopefully, I don't know why Apple cannot give the 24 megapixel photo output to our 14 Pro Max, because 15 series for the base and also the 15 plus, they're getting 24 megapixel output, and they're using the same old sensor from 14 Pro Max. So this is like really crappy from Apple, their old habit. So I don't know. If you feel comfortable about it, it's up to you. But again, it is no doubt cameras come much better on 15 Pro Max. Other than that, there will be ever so slightly difference in the this screen aspect ratio. You see a little bit more black borders on 14 Pro Max than this one, which is like tiny and insignificant. I don't think it will create much of a difference. The biggest difference here is the USB-C and Lightning here. USB-C has been, of course, helpful for charging and wherever you are traveling or going somewhere else. Just take one cable, but phone heats up a lot. As you can see, I have this home icon because I'm on a beta. So I got 17.0.3. I wish I could still show you here. 17.0.3. Sorry, 17.0.3, which did solve the problem of the heating. But the biggest issue after that was not overheating using apps. I updated the app. It's just overheating while charging the phone. And also, when you're watching a YouTube video, let's say you have YouTube Premium, you download a video 1080p and you're watching over your AirPods Pro. If this 15 Pro Max will consume 30 to 35% in 1 hour, it will become significantly warm. I don't have a tester, but I could say it will be ranging from 45 to 50 degrees. Very, very hot. And that will deplete the battery a lot. On the contrary, the 14 Pro Max, I know a lot of people bashed 14 Pro Max when it was released, but Apple fixed with multiple updates. It ran very cold, very cool. The drop was around 12 to 15% for 1 hour. Similar resolution video, similar screen brightness, same no Wi-Fi. I was not using Wi-Fi. Background processors were also turned off. But again, it was really, really different, because this will consume 12 to 15% for watching downloaded offline video from YouTube, and this will consume more than 30%, 30 to 36%, 35%. So I think Apple had to fix it, but I thought, okay, I wanted to update it to 17.1 beta and also try the 17.2 beta, but the issue still persists, and I was able to replicate the issue multiple times, not just one time. So all the YouTubers who might be posting videos that Apple has fixed the heating issue, I would really suggest you guys go and try to replicate the issue using your AirPods. Go and download a video, watch the video, or stream. I know streaming will consume more battery, but just download a YouTube video if you have YouTube Premium subscription, and then over your AirPods, watch the video wirelessly and see how your phone behaves. I am pretty sure this is not a defective device, because my wife also has 15 Pro Max 1 terabyte. I have a 256, and I've tried on her phone as well. Similar results, even worse, 37% drop. So again, I think this was one of the biggest difference I felt. Apple launched this titanium, light material, nice to hold, rounded corners, but again, thermal conductivity is much poor. Heating, of course, almost non-existent. They don't use a vapor cooling. All the graphene is not going to work because it's a powerful 3nm chip. They have to find ways to cool this device. So the only way to cool this device is to optimize the device through OS updates, iOS updates, and also probably Apple will downclock the performance to some extent, because to tame the processor. That's what they did with this. Also, I got a new update from, I was looking at some articles to find out what's the difference between the 13 Pro Max, which I don't have, I traded in, and with a 14 Pro Max and a 15 Pro Max. The cycle count that can maintain a 100% battery health on a 13 Pro Max was 800 cycles, which dropped to 500 and 500. So Apple, they are sourcing battery from somewhere else, but they're giving us much worse battery, like in terms of quality, cycle count. Like whenever you're hitting like 400-500 cycles, it will start dropping your battery percentage. So again, shame on Apple, you're charging a lot. Titanium build, just they did not have anything to change other than the processor to give us a little more titanium build just to attract consumers with different colors. This is what Apple does every single year. I'm not bashing Apple. I have Apple, I have Samsung, I have all devices. I'm a lover of tech. But again, Apple should have really focused on improving the cooling, just besides introducing titanium. That would have been, blessing. You see all the Chinese phones, Chinese manufacturers. Even my S23 Ultra runs cooler, much stable than this if I play any kind of game. But this one gets hot. This one, I would say, as of now, much better. Battery life, I would say, on par. But again, standby time here overnight drains 10 to 12%. This one drains 5 to 6%. My S23 Ultra drains about 3% to 4% overnight. I have Pixel 8 Pro. The battery drain overnight is also around 5%, which is on par with this. But again, the processor is not the same. It's just 2 years behind, I would say. I also have Honor Magic 5 Pro, which also runs way cooler. So Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 runs much cooler if you're into games. But again, I really hope Apple can, give us some updates to fix this issue so that we can enjoy the phone. It's an expensive phone. And hopefully Apple next year can introduce a little bit of passive cooling to improve its efficiency, because the battery life of 14 Pro Max and 15 Pro Max, they are nowhere near the 13 Pro Max. And you can see my battery efficiency here. I'm going to show you. I've been using this phone for 5 months now, so the capacity has dropped to 99%. So, which is, I'm not a hardcore user, but it is what it is. And I don't charge my phone wirelessly, mostly lightning cable on my 14 Pro Max. Hope this piece of information helps. If you like my channel, like my content, I would really appreciate you can give me a like, subscribe to my channel, share with your friends and families, and be wise while making your decision. As of now, I would say if you're buying 15 plus, maybe a lot of people will say go for 14 Pro Max, but I would say if you're more into shooting cameras, I would highly suggest consider 15 plus, because you're getting a much better primary sensor, because you will be getting 24 megapixel output than compared to this, which I'm pretty sure Apple will not update to 24 megapixel output. It will have 12 or 12 RAW or HEIF 48 or RAW 48. You won't have a 24 megapixel JPEG or HEIF output. On the contrary, like 15 series, you will get it. So maybe you will save some money there. You will have a less telephoto camera, but again, you will have a better main camera. Lastly, one thing I would really like to praise about this 15 series is the portrait mode. The front facing portrait mode and also the rear facing portrait mode, especially on the 5x, not on 1x, not on 2x, only on 5x and on well-lit condition, daytime. The portrait mode has improved considerably a lot. The portrait algorithm has changed. It is able to detect finer hairs compared to the 14 Pro Max, which is still, I feel, is a step back. If you compare with Samsung S23 Ultra, I think Samsung takes better photo portrait mode than my 14 Pro Max. But again, 15 Pro Max, I think 5 times portrait mode is much better than the 14 Pro Max and Samsung S23 Ultra in terms of edge detection. The 5 times portrait mode and also front facing camera portrait mode algorithm has changed. Portrait mode, I would say now, is a winner in my book. Alright, hopefully you guys have some information. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Peace out.